The next item on the list is simple to change, only costs a little more than its conventional counterpart, and I prefer the taste. Stay tuned to find out what's next on Dr. Greene's list. This one surprised me.
Number 3, if you eat peanut butter, choose organic peanut butter. More acres in the United States are planted in peanuts than any fruit or any vegetable or even any nut. Peanuts, by the way, are not nuts. They're legumes like beans or peas. And according to the National Peanut Board, peanut butter is the main use of peanuts in the United States. But 99% of peanut acres are conventional. I loved peanuts when I was a kid. I remember circuses with the family, I remember baseball games with my dad, and I remember peanut butter sandwiches that my mom used to make with love. PB&J, peanut butter and honey, and one of our family favorites was peanut butter and smushed bananas. But somewhere along the way, about the time peanut allergies began to get more common, I started thinking of peanut butter as an overly sweet, high-fat, unhealthy food. If you look at the ingredients on some jars of conventional peanut butter, it's not hard to see why. In addition to peanuts, the next ingredient is likely to be corn syrup, then sugar. You might also find partially hydrogenated and or fully hydrogenated fats, mono and diglycerides. You could even find the registered pesticides ferric orthophosphate and copper sulfate on the ingredient list, along with a long list of other ingredients. And the thing that bothers me is a lot of the labels will say 0 grams of trans fat per serving in small letters after that, when there's trans fats in the peanut butter, but they've calculated the serving size small enough they don't have to report the gram. Organic peanut butter, on the other hand, will have a short, natural ingredient list. Sometimes just roasted organic peanuts, or perhaps roasted organic peanuts with a pinch of salt. Some people have tried an organic peanut butter and didn't like it that much because the oil separated out and was on the top and had to be stirred in to make it work. You can now find organic peanut butters made a variety of different ways, some that require stirring, some don't. You can find something that would fit your palate. But peanut butter and peanut paste have a long history. They were used by the Incans and Mayans long before Columbus ever came to America as a healthy, protein-rich food. The modern era of peanut butter, the story goes, started with a physician in 1890 who ground peanuts to give as a high-protein food to his patients so they could digest the plant protein easily. Peanuts are a good source of heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, of vitamin E, niacin, folate, and they're packed with antioxidants, on par with blackberries. And dry roasting them even increases the antioxidant level. And peanuts even contain resveratrol, a very special nutrient that we'll talk about in an upcoming segment. Organic peanut butter can be a great picture of a convenient, tasty, healthy food made in a natural and whole way. Let's say a word about peanut allergies. Right now in the United States, about 1% of Americans have a peanut allergy. Some of these are quite severe. About 99% of the population doesn't have a peanut allergy, but these allergies have been on the rise in recent years. Researchers at Mount Sinai found that during just a 5-year period between 1997 and 2002, peanut allergies in the U.S. doubled. So what changed in our environment during this period that could trigger such an alarming rise in allergies? I think the answer is probably complex, but one thing that bears looking into is the proliferation of genetically modified legumes at that same time. I suspect that organic farming methods for peanuts and soy and other legumes could help reverse the rise of peanut allergies. Now, back on the peanut farm, the peanut grows as a flower above ground, the stalk elongates, tilts down, and then the flower burrows underground where the peanut matures, in the dark under the soil. Molds are common on peanuts during their growth and during their storage. These molds can produce toxins. One of them is called aflatoxin. And it's for this reason that fungicides, mold-killing pesticides, are often used on peanuts, and they're also used on strawberries and grapes to a pretty large extent. It makes sense. You want to prevent the molds and prevent the aflatoxin. But these fungicides themselves can be quite toxic. Recent research has shown that they can function as endocrine disruptors. In fact, when given to pregnant animals, not only can they affect the animal and their offspring, but also their offspring's offspring and another generation beyond that. lasting problems from these fungicides. The good news is that organic farming methods, which rely on crop rotation and cover crops and tillage, can result in lower levels of molds and of mold toxins than spraying the conventional fungicides. For more information, visit me at drgreene.com. I'm Dr. Alan Greene, and peanut butter is my organic prescription for today.